everyone, this is Katie with Volunteer Peninsula and the United Way of the Virginia Peninsula. I'm going to do a quick video to show agencies how to post a need or volunteer opportunity on the Volunteer Peninsula site. So we are going to log in. And then I'm going to choose my agency at the top. Yours probably says my agency. Mine might look a little different because I am the site manager. So this is automatically going to take us to our edit page. You can see your agency managers down here. If you need to add somebody, they have to be registered on the site already, and then you can just type in their name or email. The purpose of this video is to add a volunteer opportunity, so we're going to click here. And here you will have listed of any opportunities that you have that are still active. If you wanted to show inactive or ones that have already expired, you want to click up here and then it will give you the full list. In order to add a new need, you want to click over here. So this is going to be the page that you're going to fill out all of the information about your volunteer opportunity. You want to put a good title. For this, I'm just going to put Test and Yorktown. The title should be engaging and let volunteers know exactly kind of what you want them to do. So help feed the hungry, or yard work for seniors. And then I always like to put the location, since we do have such a large area on the Virginia Peninsula, so it kind of helps narrow it down. So folks in Williamsburg may not want to go to Hampton and vice versa. So just a geographical quick view is always nice. The description should have the where, when, what they need to bring. All of this will be filled in throughout this process, but it's good to have it in multiple places to make sure that it didn't get overlooked. Privacy. If you post it public, that means any volunteer that signs on to Volunteer Peninsula will be able to see what you have posted and have the opportunity to sign up for it. Private means that you are going to have to specifically send them a URL in order for them to see it and sign up. Private is really good if you already have a group in mind, but you want them to sign up and maybe capture some additional information from them. So definitely post public if you do not have a group already in mind. Initiative is usually we use that a lot for Day of Caring. An initiative is really good if there are multiple to help organize things, especially if you're going to have multiple events within the same thing. Kind of like Day of Caring, we had 80 volunteer needs with 1,500 volunteers all in one day. So that's why we use the initiative. Duration is also extremely important. Duration is going to be, is it ongoing? If so, you want to put ongoing so that the need will not expire. Runs until, if I put it runs until and then pick this Thursday, on Friday, this volunteer need is going to drop off on the website. So you don't have to come back in and make sure that you take it down so that nobody else can sign up for it. As long as you put runs until or happens on, therefore there is a final date, whatever you select, it will not show up after that. You can also do a registration close date. So if my event is Thursday, but I need people signed up by Tuesday, then it's not going to allow people to register past that. Capacity is going to be how many people you want to sign up. How many slots do you have available? Hours, if you have hours of your event, saying that, you know, if we're going to be passing out food from 7 to 11 and then we have another shift from 11 to 1:30, you can just put 7 to 11 if that's the time period of your event. our description, you can put it here as well. You can also put morning or afternoon or anything that you need in the hours. Anything with an asterisk is required. So need date, duration, privacy, all of that is required. If you hover over the question mark, it's going to give you a little description about it too, which is also very helpful. I recommend you fill in as much as possible so that there is no question on the volunteer side. Required background checks. If your organization is currently going through Verify Volunteer, which is a paid service, you can connect it to your agency's page with no additional cost. There's just some additional things that you have to do on your side, and you would reach out to Verify Volunteers directly in order to do that. Just let them know that you're using the Volunteer Peninsula side. If you have any questions about that, please reach out to me directly. Allow team registration. This is going to allow folks to sign up as a team or as an individual. If you say yes, you can sign up as a team. That means if I am the team leader, I can go in and reserve as many spots as I have team members. So if you have a capacity of 10 and I only have 5 volunteers total, then I'm going to go in and say I am going to volunteer and I have 4 other people with me. That's going to give me the opportunity to register everybody or send them the link so that they can register themselves. Minimum and maximum age is not required, however, can be very helpful if you have a family-friendly event and would like to include children as well. So let's say for my event, they have to be at least 12 years old. Then I can say, yes, it is family-friendly. One of my favorite things about this site is if I click outdoors, it's going to give me an inclement weather plan. So I can say that this is a rain or shine event, or I can say if this is rained out, we will have it the following weekend. Anything that you want to tell your volunteers will be here. Again, as much information as you put in here will eliminate how many times a volunteer has to reach out to you directly for questions. It is wheelchair accessible. Attributes is something that anything that you want to relate to the volunteers that they may need to bring. I would also put this information in the description, but this is going to allow it to show up again multiple times so that it can't be missed. So I'm going to say that they need to bring work gloves, and this might be a hot day. Probably be a good idea for them to bring water too. So you can add as many things in here as you want. The exact address is helpful. However, just the zip code is required. But if I had an exact address of where I'm going to need volunteers to show up, I would put all of that information in. Interests and abilities. When volunteers sign up on the site, they have to select, I think it's 3 interests. So if I put that this is just going to be an in-kind volunteer opportunity, anybody that selected in-kind when they signed up on the site is going to get an email that there has been a new need added to the Volunteer Peninsula site that they may be interested in. So then they can check out the need that you have added. Additional notification recipients. This is extremely helpful as well. So if you have multiple people in your office that are helping to plan this event, then they can receive an email just as you would in any other manager on the site if somebody signs up. So that's extremely helpful, especially if there's multiple people working the event, but not all of them have access to the site. Waiver. This is also helpful if you plan on taking a lot of pictures. You might want to put a photo release form so that they can have it ahead of time. You also may need a safety waiver depending on what your volunteer job is. So you might want to put a waiver on there as well. So we're just going to go to create need. And so this has been created. You can look over it, make sure everything is correct. One of the other things that I really like about this is you have the option to clone or deactivate the need. And any volunteers that have signed up would be listed down here. If I have the same event that is happening in 2 or multiple locations, clone need is very, very helpful. So this is my test for Yorktown. If I also have the same project happening in Newport News, I'm just going to do clone need and then change this title to Newport News. And then I might have to add 1 or 2 things, or if this site can take more people, just go in here and add 15. But everything is going to stay the same, and it makes it super quick and easy. All right, so I'm going to go back to volunteer opportunities. And now you can see that I have a test Newport News, a test Yorktown, and I already had a test Hampton. So if all 3 of these were the same event, just happening in different locations, I could go to edit for one of them, and then just scroll down to the bottom and clone it 2 more times. And just change whatever I need to change, especially the title, and then you are good to go. Another thing that you can do once people start signing up, you can look at the responses. It will give you the option to message anybody that has signed up and add default hours. So if I know this is going to be a 4-hour project, I can go ahead and add hours so that after the completion of this project, they will get 4 hours put in their time tracker. And then so you can just go here, and this is going to show you exactly how the volunteers are going to see it. So additional details, this is all of that information that we added that can also be in the description, but it's also going to show them again, what they need to bring or anything that we added. So it's super helpful. If you have any questions on how to add a volunteer opportunity or a need, please reach out to me directly. Again, you can email me directly through the site. The email address is also volunteer@uwvp.org. Thank you so much. I hope this is helpful. Let me know if there's anything else that you need.